Welcome friends. We have discussed about relations and their properties and partial ordering in the last session. We have also seen what is the difference between a relation and a function. Let us discuss a bit more about functions in this session to have a better understanding of different types of functions. Relations and functions part 2. One of the most important concepts in mathematics is that of a function. The terms map, mapping, transformation and many others mean the same thing. The choice of which word to use in a given situation is usually determined by tradition and the mathematical background of the person using the term. Let us recall the definition of a function. Suppose that to each element of a set A, we assign a unique element of a set B. The collection of such assignments is called a function from A to B. The set A is called the domain of the function and the set B is called the target set or codomain. Functions are ordinarily denoted by symbols. For example, let f denote a function from A into B, then we write f from A to B, which is read as f is a function from A into B, or f takes or maps A into B. If A is an element of A, then f of A, read f of A, denotes the unique element of B which f assigns to A. It is called the image of A under f or the value of f at A. The set of all image values is called the range or image of f. The image of f from A to B is denoted by range of f, image of f or f of capital A. Frequently, a function can be expressed by means of a mathematical formula. For example, consider the function which sends each real number into its square. We may describe this function by writing f of x is equal to x square or x goes to x square or y is equal to x square. In the first notation, x is called a variable and the letter f denotes the function. In the second notation, the barred arrow is read goes to. In the last notation, x is called the independent variable and y is called the dependent variable, since the value of y will depend on the value of x. Whenever a function is given by a formula in terms of a variable x, we assume, unless it is otherwise stated, that the domain of the function is R or the largest subset of R for which the formula has meaning and the codomain is R. Let us see some examples. Consider the function f of x is equal to x cube, that is f assigns to each real number its cube. Then the image of 2 is 8 and so we write f of 2 is equal to 8. The figure shown defines a function f from A, the set A, B, C, D into the set B, R, S, T, U in the obvious way. Here f of A is equal to S, f of B is equal to U, f of C is equal to R and f of D is equal to S. The image of f is the set of image values, the set R, S, U. Note that T does not belong to the image of f because T is not the image of any element under f. Now the next example, let A be any set. The function from A into A which assigns to each element in A the element itself is called the identity function on A and it is usually denoted by IA or simply I. In other words, for every element A in set A, IA of the element A is equal to A. Now suppose S is a subset of A. The inclusion map or embedding of S into A denoted by I from S to A is a function such that for each x in S, I of x is equal to x. The restriction of any function f from A into B denoted by f given S is the function from S into B such that for any x in S, f given S of x is equal to f of x. Functions as relations. There is another point of view from which functions may be considered. First of all, every function f from A into B gives rise to a relation from A into B called the graph of f and it is defined by graph of f is the set ordered pairs A B such that A is an element of A and B is equal to f of A. two functions f from a into b and g from a into b are defined to be equal, written f is equal to g if f of a is equal to g of a for every a element of set A. That is, if they have the same graph. Accordingly, we do not distinguish between a function and its graph. Now, such a graph relation has the property that each a in set A belongs to a unique ordered pair a comma b in the relation. On the other hand, any relation f from a to b that has this property gives rise to a function f from a into b, where f of a is equal to b for each a b in f. Consequently, one may equivalently define a function as follows. A function f from a into b is a relation from a to b, that is a subset of a cross b, such that each a in a belongs to a unique ordered pair a comma b in f. Although we do not distinguish between a function and its graph, we will still use the terminology graph of f when referring to f as a set of ordered pairs. Moreover, since the graph of f is a relation, we can draw its picture as was done for relations in general, and this pictorial representation is itself sometimes called the graph of f. Also, the defining condition of a function that each a in set A belongs to a unique pair a comma b in f is equivalent to the geometrical condition of each vertical line intersecting the graph in exactly one point. Now, let us see some examples. Let f be a function from a into b as defined in the previous example. Then the graph of f is given as the set ordered pairs a comma s, b comma u, c comma r and d comma s. Consider the following three relations on a set A, set 1, 2, 3, and f is the set 1, 3, 2, 3 and 3, 1, and g is set 1, 2, 3, 1 and h is the set 1, 3, 2, 1, 1, 2 and 3, 1. F is a function from a into a since each member of a appears as the first coordinate in exactly one ordered pair in f. Here f of 1 is equal to 3, f of 2 is equal to 3 and f of 3 is equal to 1. G is not a function from a into a since 2 in a is not the first coordinate of any pair in G, and so G does not assign any image to 2. Also, h is not a function from a into a since 1 in a appears as the first coordinate of two distinct ordered pairs in H, 1, 3 and 1, 2. If h is to be a function, it cannot assign both 3 and 2 to the element 1 in a. By a real polynomial function, we mean a function f from the set of real numbers to itself of the form f of x is equal to a n x raised to n plus a n minus 1 x raised to n minus 1 plus etc. plus a1x plus a naught, where the ai's are real numbers. Since R is an infinite set, it would be impossible to plot each point of the graph. However, the graph of such a function can be approximated by first plotting some of its points and then drawing a smooth curve through these points. The points are usually obtained from a table where various values are assigned to x and the corresponding values of f(x) are computed. The figure shown illustrates this technique using the function f of x is equal to x square minus 2x minus 3. Composition function, one-to-one, onto and invertible functions. Consider functions f from a into b and g from b into c, that is where the codomain of f is the domain of g. Then we may define a new function from a to c called the composition of f and g, and we write it as GOF as follows. GOF of a is equal to g of f of a. That is, we find the image of a under f and then find the image of f of a under g. This definition is not really new. If we view f and g as relations, then this function is the same as the composition of f and g as relations, except that here we use the functional notation GOF for the composition of f and g instead of the notation FOG which was used for relations. Consider any function f from a into b. Then FOIA is equal to F and IBOF is equal to F, where IA and IB are the identity functions on A and B respectively. A function f from A into B is said to be 1 to 1 if different elements in the domain A have distinct images. Another way of saying the same thing is that f is 1 to 1 if f of A is equal to f of B implies A is equal to B. A function f from A into B is said to be an onto function if each element of B is the image of some element of A. In other words, f from A into B is onto if the image of f is the entire codomain, that is, if f of set A is equal to set B. In such a case, we say that f is a function from A onto B or that f maps A onto B. A function f from A into B is invertible if its inverse relation f inverse is a function from B to A. In general, the inverse relation f inverse may not be a function. The following theorem gives simple criteria which tells us when it is. Theorem: a function f from A into B is invertible if and only if f is both 1 to 1 and onto. If f from A into B is 1 to 1 and onto, then f is called a 1 to 1 correspondence between A and B. This terminology comes from the fact that each element of A will then correspond to a unique element of B and vice versa. Some texts use the terms injective for a 1 to 1 function, surjective for an onto function and bijective for a 1 to 1 correspondence. Let us see some examples. Consider the functions f1 from A into B, f2 from B into C and f3 from C into D and f4 from D into E defined by the diagram shown on the screen. Now, f1 is 1 to 1 since no element of B is the image of more than one element of A. Similarly, f2 is 1 to 1. However, neither f3 nor f4 is 1 to 1 since f3 of R is equal to f3 of U and f4 of V is equal to f4 of W. As far as being onto is concerned, f2 and f3 are both onto functions since every element of C is the image under f2 of some element of B and every element of D is the image under f3 of some element of C. f2 of B is equal to C and f2 of B is equal to set C and f3 of C is equal to set D. On the other hand, f1 is not onto since 3 in B is not the image under f4 of any element of A and f4 is not onto since x in E is not the image under f4 of any element of D. Thus, f1 is 1 to 1 but not onto, f3 is onto but not 1 to 1 and f4 is neither 1 to 1 nor onto. However, f2 is both 1 1 and onto, that is, it is a 1 to 1 correspondence between A and B. Hence, f2 is invertible and f2 inverse is a function from C to B. Geometrical characterization of 1 to 1 and onto functions. Consider now functions of the form f from the set of real numbers to itself. Since the graphs of such functions may be plotted in the Cartesian plane R2 and since functions may be identified with their graphs, we might wonder whether the concepts of being 1 to 1 and onto have some geometrical meaning. The answer is yes. Specifically, f from R to R is 1 to 1 if each horizontal line intersects the graph of f in at most one point. F from R to R is an onto function if each horizontal line intersects the graph of f at one or more points. Accordingly, if f is both 1 to 1 and onto, that is invertible, then each horizontal line will intersect the graph of f at exactly one point. Let us see some examples. Consider the following four functions from the set of real numbers into itself. f1 of x is equal to x square, f2 of x is equal to 2 raised to x, f3 of x is equal to x cube minus 2x square minus fx plus 6 and f4 of x is equal to x cube. The graphs of these functions are shown on the screen. Observe that there are horizontal lines which intersect the graph of f1 twice and there are horizontal lines which do not intersect the graph of f1 at all. Hence, f1 is neither 1 to 1 nor onto. Similarly, F2 is 1 to 1 but not on to, F3 is on to but not 1 to 1, and F4 is both 1 to 1 and on to. The inverse of F4 is the cube root function. F4 inverse of x is equal to the cube root of x. Permutations. An invertible, that is bijective function sigma from x to x is called a permutation on x. The composition and inverses of permutations on x and identity function on x are also permutations on x. Suppose x is equal to the set 1, 2, etc. n, then the permutation sigma on x is frequently denoted by sigma is the set 1, 2, etc. n going to j1, j2, etc. jn, where j of 1 is equal to sigma of I. The set of all such permutations is denoted by Sn, and there are n factorial, that is n into n minus 1 into etc. 3 into 2 into 1 of them. For example, let sigma be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 going to 4, 6, 2, 5, 1, 3, and tau be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 going to 6, 4, 3, 1, 2, 5. These are the two permutations in S6, and there are 6 factorial, that is 720 of them. Sometimes we only write the second line of the permutation, that is we denote the above permutations by writing sigma as 4, 6, 2, 5, 1, 3 and tau as 6, 4, 3, 1, 2, 5. Mathematical functions, exponential and logarithmic functions. This section presents various mathematical functions which appear often in the analysis of algorithms and in computer science in general together with their notation. We also discuss the exponential and logarithmic functions and their relationship. The first one is floor and ceiling functions. Let x be any real number, then x lies between two integers called the floor and the ceiling of x. Specifically, the floor of x denotes the greatest integer that does not exceed x, and the ceiling of x denotes the least integer that is not less than x. If x itself is an integer, then the floor of x is equal to the ceiling of x, otherwise floor of x plus 1 is equal to the ceiling of x. For example, floor of 3.14 is 3, floor of root 5 is 2, floor of minus 8.5 is minus 9, floor of 7 is 7 and floor of minus 4 is minus 4. And the ceiling of 3.14 is 4, the ceiling of root 5 is 3, the ceiling of minus 8.5 is minus 8, the ceiling of 7 is 7 and the ceiling of minus 4 is minus 4. Next one is the integer and absolute value functions. Let x be any real number. The integer value of x written as int of x converts x into an integer by deleting or truncating the fractional part of the number. Thus, integer value of 3.14 is 3, integer value of root 5 is 2, integer value of minus 8.5 is minus 8 and integer value of 7 is 7. Observe that integer value of x is floor of x or integer value of x is ceiling of x according to whether x is positive or negative. The absolute value of the real number x written as abs of x or mod x is defined as the greater of x or negative x. Hence, absolute value of 0 is 0 and for x not equal to 0, absolute value of x is x or absolute value of x is minus x depending on whether x is positive or negative. Thus, modulus value of minus 15 is 15, modulus value of 7 is 7, modulus value of minus 3.33 is 3.33, modulus value of 4.44 is 4.44 and modulus value of minus 0.075 is 0.075. We note that mod x is equal to mod of minus x and for x not equal to 0, mod x is positive. Now, let us see remainder function and the modular arithmetic. Let k be any integer and let m be a positive integer. K modulo m will denote the integer remainder when k is divided by m. More exactly, k mod m is the unique integer r such that k is equal to m cube plus r, where 0 less than or equal to r less than m. When k is positive, simply divide k by m to obtain the remainder r. Thus, 25 mod 7 is equal to 4, 25 mod 5 is equal to 0, 35 mod 11 is equal to 2 and 3 mod 8 is equal to 3. If k is negative, divide mod k by m to obtain a remainder r dash. Then k mod m is equal to m minus r dash, where r dash is not equal to 0. Thus, minus 26 mod 7 is equal to 7 minus 5, which is equal to 2, minus 371 mod 8 is equal to 8 minus 3, which is equal to 5, and minus 39 mod 3 is equal to 0. The term mod is also used for the mathematical congruence relation, which is denoted and defined as follows. A is congruent to B mod m if and only if m divides B minus A. M is called the modulus, and A congruent B mod m is read as A is congruent to B modulo m. The following aspects of the congruence relation are frequently useful: 0 congruent to m mod m and A plus or minus m congruent to A mod m. Arithmetic modulo m refers to the arithmetic operations of addition, multiplication and subtraction, where the arithmetic value is replaced by its equivalent value in the set 0, 1, 2, 3 etc. m minus 1 or in the set 1, 2, 3 etc. m. For example, in arithmetic modulo 12, sometimes called clock arithmetic, 6 plus 9 is congruent to 3, 7 into 5 is congruent to 11, 1 minus 5 is congruent to 8, 2 plus 10 is congruent to 0, which is congruent to 12. The use of 0 or m depends on the application. Now, let us see exponential functions. Recall the following definitions of integer exponents where m is a positive integer. A raised to m is equal to a into a etc. a m times a raised to 0 is 1, a raised to minus m is equal to 1 by a raised to m. Exponents are extended to include all rational numbers by defining for any rational number m by n, a raised to m by n is equal to nth root of a raised to m, that is nth root of a the whole raised to m. For example, 2 raised to 4 is equal to 16, 2 raised to minus 4 is equal to 1 by 2 raised to 4, which is equal to 1 by 16. 125 raised to 2 by 3 is equal to 5 square, which is equal to 25. In fact, exponents are extended to include all real numbers by defining for any real number x, a raised to x is equal to limit r tends to x a raised to r, where r is a rational number. Accordingly, the exponential function f of x is equal to a raised to x is defined for all real numbers. Logarithmic functions. Logarithms are related to exponents as follows. Let b be a positive number. The logarithm of any positive number x to the base b written as log x to the base b represents the exponent to which b must be raised to obtain x. That is, y is equal to log x to the base b and b raised to y is equal to x are equivalent statements. Accordingly, log 8 to the base 2 is 3, since 2 cube is equal to 8. Log 100 to the base 10 is equal to 2, since 10 square is equal to 100. Log 64 to the base 2 is 6, since 2 raised to 6 is equal to 64. Log 0.001 to the base 10 is equal to minus 3, since 10 raised to minus 3 is equal to 0.001. Furthermore, for any base b, we have b raised to 0 is equal to 1 and b raised to 1 is equal to b. Hence, log 1 to the base b is equal to 0 and log b to the base b is 1. The logarithm of a negative number and the logarithm of 0 are not defined. 3 classes of logarithms are of special importance: logarithms to the base 10 called common logarithms, logarithms to the base e called natural logarithms, and logarithms to the base 2 called binary logarithms. Some texts write ln x for log x to the base e and lgx or log x for log x to the base 2. Sequences. Sequences are special types of functions with their own notation. A sequence is a function from the set n is equal to 1, 2, 3 etc. of positive integers into a set A. The notation an is used to denote the image of an integer n. Thus, a sequence is usually denoted by a1, a2, a3 etc. or the set an where n belongs to the set of natural numbers or simply the set an. Sometimes the domain of a sequence is the set 0, 1, 2, 3 etc. of non-negative integers rather than n. In such a case, we say n begins with 0 rather than 1. Now, let us summarize the contents of this session. We have started the session by recalling the definition of a function. We discussed its properties and the graph of a function. We then defined and understood different types of functions that are important. Now, let us see some assignment problems. First one, give an example each for an increasing function and a decreasing function with the set of real numbers as its domain and codomain that is not 1 to 1. Second problem, suppose that g is a function from a to b and f is a function from b to c. If f and fog are 1 to 1, does it imply that g is 1 to 1? Justify your answer. Third one, find fog and gof where f of x is equal to x square plus 1 and g of x is equal to x plus 2 are functions from R to R. Fourth one, show that if x is a real number, then the ceiling of x minus floor of x is equal to 1 if x is not an integer, and ceiling of x minus floor of x is equal to 0 if x is an integer. Fifth one, find the inverse function of f of x is equal to x cube plus 1. Sixth one, draw the graphs of each of the following functions. F of x is equal to floor function of x plus half. Second one, f of x is equal to ceiling function of x by 3. F of x is equal to floor function of x by 2 plus ceiling function of x by 2. These are some of the books for further reading. Elements of Discrete Mathematics by C.L. Liu, Tata McGraw-Hill Publishing Company Limited, 2nd edition. Discrete Mathematics and its Applications, 6th edition by Kenneth H. Rosen, TMH Education Private Limited. Set Theory and Related Topics, Seymour Lipschitz Shorm's Outline Series, 2nd edition, TMH Education Private Limited. Hope you have followed this session. We will continue our discussion with another topic in the next session. Till then, goodbye.